Hey Stitches, I'm Sam Cole and it is officially November, and before we can get into our November reading radar we have to go over all of the books that we read in October. So in this video we're getting kind of 2 for 1. We're going to go over the 7 books I think I read in October and some of the new releases and physical TBR reading radar that I have for the month of November. So let's get started. I had a really awesome reading month, revisited some of my favorites, and then found new favorites to add to that list. Honestly, all the books I read this month were amazing, so I can't wait to share them all with you. And Maxie is here for support as well. So I'm not gonna go in order of when I read them because I kind of like went back and forth because none of these are standalones. They're all part of either a duology or a series, and so I'm just gonna go by series. And first was ACOTAR, or Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This was a reread. Like I've said before, I'm doing an entire reread of the whole Sarah J. Maas universe, and obviously I just finished Throne of Glass, and so now I've moved on to ACOTAR. It was even better the second time around. ACOTAR is definitely not my favorite of the whole series just because, like, I mean, if you've read it, I think you kind of get what I'm saying, but it's just a lot simpler compared to the rest. It's almost like a standalone story that sets up for more versus like the rest of the series is really like building off of each other. But yeah, I really loved rereading this, and I went through and annotated it and have all my tabs, so that was a lot of fun. I read A Court of Mist and Fury, which is so good. I can't decide if this is my favorite of the series. I know it's most people's favorite, but so far it's my favorite, obviously. But I love A Court of Silver Flames, so we'll see this time around like which one wins out. But I had so much fun. I like annotated the heck out of this and went through like on my Instagram and did a whole flip through of my favorite annotations and all that, and so that was a lot of fun. But I mean, look at this, it's tabbed the heck out of this, and it was just so fun to finally like get into this world again and really like, I won't say a lot but so I don't spoil anything, but it was so amazing, and I'm so excited to continue with the rest of the series. And then from here on, these were all new books for me. I have reading vlogs for all of this, so I won't go too into detail on my thoughts and feelings, but just know if you want all of that and my like reactions to while I'm reading them, to go ahead and head over to those videos that I'll link down below. But the first was a duology, which was A River Enchanted and A Fire Endless. These were so amazing. They are described as like a folk fantasy, so they're a little like slower in the traditional sense of like what modern day fantasies tend to lean towards. There's not like an epic adventure and we're fighting and all this stuff like constantly like in ACOTAR or like some other fantasies, but it's such a beautiful and like rich world that Rebecca Ross has created in just this duology, just these 2 books that, I mean, I finished them and immediately wanted to reread them. I finished them and immediately wanted to reread them. That's how much I loved it. It's just so lyrical and beautiful. The prose is just, it like really makes you feel like you're in this world, and that was so fun. And so I'm definitely going to read the rest of Rebecca Ross's books from here on, and I'm super excited to dive into Divine Rivals, which is her, I would argue, most popular release that she's had, and then Ruthless Vows when it comes out in December. So let me know if you want me to do a reading vlog with that. And then I caved, and we know that I'm just so strong and don't normally succumb to peer pressure or FOMO, but I finally got around to reading the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. So that's Once Upon a Broken Heart, The Ballad of Never After, and A Curse for True Love. A Curse for True Love just came out, and it is the completion of this trilogy, but I had never read any of these books and I knew pretty much nothing about it going into it, and so that was really fun to be able to just like go in almost blind. And so I think that's the best way to do it. I mean, I really enjoyed it and didn't feel like I was missing anything. The Caraval trilogy is technically in the same world and has some of the same characters, I guess, but I haven't read that either and I didn't feel confused or anything like that. So that's up to you whether you decide you need to read those first or not, but I didn't and I was totally fine. So first I read Once Upon a Broken Heart, and it was so good, dude. Like I said, my full live reactions and reading vlog is down below, but I had some like reactions, like outward reactions to this whole series, which I'm not normally the type of person to do that. I'll have reactions like in my head, but I don't like vocalize or like physically respond a ton. But I mean, this series just had me like kicking my feet and giggling and all of that. So it was very, very good. I won't go into like each book individually, obviously, because that'll like spoil it. But just trust me on this, trust everyone else. This series is definitely worth it. It's so, so good. It's such a beautiful world, and I thought going into it that I might not like it very much since it is a YA fantasy. I thought, and it has like romance in it, and I thought that it might be just a little bit too like young for me to fully enjoy it, but no, it was so good and I really, really just thoroughly enjoyed it. So definitely check it out if that sounds interesting to you and if you want to succumb to the hype. Like I said, I don't really want to say a whole lot about it. Basically, it's about this woman named Evangeline who ends up making a deal with the Prince of Heartbreak, and he says that he will stop the wedding of her beloved in exchange for 3 kisses that he can turn in whenever he wants and for whomever he wants. So, and that's all I'll say, and it follows the hijinks and the repercussions of that decision. So yeah, it was super, super fun. Those were all the books that I read in October, and I thought it would be fun to go over a little bit of my November reading radar. I don't have like a straightforward one this month. I'm gonna try and be a little bit more like fluid and mood reader-y as we go, but there are a few that I know that I'm definitely getting to, so I thought it'd be fun to like mention that now. Obviously I am in the middle of my reread of the ACOTAR series. I'm currently on ACOWAR, and then I have A Court of Frost and Starlight and A Court of Silver Flames. And all of this is leading up to the release of the 3rd Crescent City book, which comes out at the beginning of January. Maxie has decided to join us, so if you hear him scratching or panting in the background, it's just Maxie. But and then also in anticipation for a newer release, I am rereading Fourth Wing right now on my Kindle, and then I will of course be reading Iron Flame, which comes out, and that comes out in like 2 days from when I'm recording this, so it might already be out by the time I post it, but I'm super excited for that. I'm sure most people are. So yeah, definitely gonna be reading that as soon as possible. And then I also would really love if I have time to get to the Two Twisted Crowns and One Dark Window duology. I have both of them and I've been really excited to read them. I've just been a little like fatigued from the other fantasy series that I have been reading, but like I said, I've been really wanting to read them. They've been on my radar for a while, and now that I have both of them, it feels kind of silly not to do it. And during this transition period of November, like between the fall and winter, seems like a good time as any for this gothic fantasy vibe, so I'm excited to start those. And like I promised, I am in the process of rereading the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy and fully annotating and doing a full like spoiler vlog of those. If not a vlog, I definitely will be making other content surrounding it with my annotations and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'm super excited. I also really want to get to If We Were Villains by ML Rio during this month. I want to do like a full analysis and annotation of that, so I kind of have to carve out some time to do that. But if that sounds something that you would enjoy, kind of going through like all the Shakespearean references and things that you might have missed if you like aren't a big Shakespeare fan, I've heard that that's a lot of people's complaints. But coming from a theatrical and dramaturgical background, I thought that this could be a great opportunity for me to help the bookish community. So yeah, let me know if that sounds good to you. What are you reading this month? Let me know if you have any recommendations of what I should get to. If there's any that I mentioned that you want me to include in a vlog, please let me know in the comments below, or just start a discussion, say hello. I would love to meet you guys. And yeah, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Love ya! Bye!